Okay, so we'll go ahead and get started today. Thank you for joining. Today we'll be talking about setting up your support center, which is a really integral part in your start with Desk. We'll go ahead and move to the next slide here. So my name is Brian Suh. I'm the onboarding and training specialist here at Desk.com. And in terms of experience, for the past 5 years, I've been working with different SaaS companies to um, work on their customer onboarding and training. Also here I have on the line Zach. He's our technical consultant here. Zach, do you want to give an introduction about kind of your experience and what you do here at Desk?
Yeah, I've been with Desk.com now for over a year and a half. I'm part of the WOW team, a technical consultant on the WOW team, and I help customers build out and customize um, their support centers from really basic, simple branded support centers to highly advanced customized support centers.
All right, great. So just talking about today's agenda on our next slide here. So our session today will be just about 30 minutes long. So during the training, if you do have any questions, feel free to type them into the GoToWebinar questions panel, and we'll get those answered towards the end. And again, we will save just about 5 minutes for an actual Q&A. Also, just to let you know, we are recording today's session, so in case you can't stay with us for the entire time, we will record the session and post it to our YouTube channel. So be on the lookout for there. Also on our YouTube channel is just a lot of really great information in terms of past webinars or other videos that'll help you get started on Desk. We have some other trainings for the admin, setting up your admin area, some videos on the agent training as well. So take a look. So without further ado, on the next slide, let's go. Next one here. Let's go ahead and see Desk in action. I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Zach. So Zach, it's all yours.
Thanks, Brian. So I'm going to start from right at the beginning, and I'm not even logged in yet. And just to show you guys where you can log in is your subdomain at desk.com /login or /admin or /agent. If you're not logged in already, they'll bring you directly to this screen. So I have my username, which is my email address, and my password in place. And I'm going to click login. And there we go. And when you get logged in, you'll see this screen. Your screen will probably look really similar as this is a fresh account. You'll have all these initiative options over here to gain more bonus time, which doesn't really apply if you've already signed up for a plan. And then across the top, you'll see these headings. Dashboard, which is the screen you see here. Team, which lets you add more team members and agents and admins. And then there's the channels, which we'll dive into in a second. Cases, which will also go into a bit of detail here. Content, which is really the bread and butter of your support center as far as adding topics and articles, and we'll review this further. And then applications. Within applications, you can set up integrations. Some of our most popular integrations are usually Jira, which will let you convert a Desk.com case into a Jira ticket, OLARC, which ties in cases with live chat, and so on. From there, one of the first things you might want to do is head over to this main site settings button right here in the top right. This will let you set up your company name. It'll let you choose the complexity of passwords and other important settings if you need to set those up. Also, outside of site settings, there's the contact info. This is where you'll set up your business information, and then after that, you'll want to set your business hours. And the business hours are important because these business hours will be used to set up and configure various rules based on if your business is currently open or closed. You also have outbound mailboxes, so you can reply as a certain email address from within the desk system. And then within there, from there, you have multilingual support. And this is a really awesome feature. It lets you have your support center in multiple languages, easily translatable, and you can choose which topics and articles that you want to translate. If the article or topic isn't translated, it won't appear. For instance, if you have a bunch of articles in English and you're slowly converting your support center to Spanish, only the articles that are already in Spanish will appear when the user's browsing the Spanish section of the support portal. From there, you have the system log, which is really helpful from a technical aspect. You can diagnose problems with single sign-on or multipass, and just view general errors that may be occurring with some of your integrations. Next is another technical aspect is the API. You can leverage our API to integrate with your own system or again, one of our integrations. Integrations we've covered. And single sign-on. This is a nice feature for your agents. It'll let you use your company's already, if you have a sign-on system for your company, you can use a single sign-on, and it'll let your agent sign on through your company sign on and then instantly be already signed into their agent account. So there's no need for another email address and password situation. IP whitelists, this is great for protecting your site. If you only want certain IPs to be able to access the admin area or the agent area, you can set those IPs here. And if someone tries to log in from outside an IP range or that specific IP address, they won't be able to log in even if they have the correct username and password. From there, there's Ssl Certificate Hosting. This comes into play when you're using your own custom domain, which we suggest doing, and also if you're using a custom CNAME for each brand, which I'll cover briefly here in a moment. So that's the basic site settings that we recommend looking over and setting up when you initially get into your admin. From there, I'm going to jump into the content section. As I said, this is kind of the bread and butter of your forward-facing support portal. And the more content you have and the better organized it is, it lets your customers find their own answers instead of instantly submitting a ticket and creating more work for your agents. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a topic. You can see there's some sample topics here. There's also some candid responses, which are hidden from the support portal, but are used in an agent response. So let's add a new topic. I'll just call it new topic. I can give the topic description, and we can leverage that description to appear underneath the topic title within the support portal. And then I have the option to show in the support center and allow questions. Now, if I want to keep this topic hidden for a while I create a listing of articles for it, I can click not to show in the support center. But I'm just going to go ahead and click show in the support center. I'll leave questions off for now. And so there it is. I created a topic. And now I can either see the articles in that topic by clicking the link there directly. And I can also view the articles in another topic, like sample general. And then once I'm in the article tab here at the top, I can jump around between topics, or I can view articles across all topics. So let's create an article for that new topic. I'm going to put in the article title. And once I put in the article title and I click add, it'll bring me to the article edit screen. There's a few things going on here that are pretty important to consider when writing and managing your articles. The first and most important thing here, obviously, is the article editor itself. You have the option to paste from Word if you want to paste directly from a Word doc, and this will help change some of the styles from Word to HTML and kind of give your styling a bit better than pasting directly. You also have the option to create numbered items or just list items, center. You can change the justification of text to center, toggle those off for now. You can also add links here without knowing any code and set up whether or not you want them to open in a new window. You can also insert an image, and you can browse images that you've already uploaded to your server, or you can upload a new image directly to the server, and then you can call upon it later as you browse your images that are on the server. From there, you have the option to edit in a full screen. This is nice if you're actively writing the article in the editor. It lets you take advantage of all your screen's real estate. You can also set the font to these default headings, which we suggest doing instead of selecting the font and increasing the font size directly. The headings will allow you to control your content more uniformly across all articles. So if you have a heading 1 in this article, it's going to appear the same size as a heading 1 in the second article. That way you don't have to sit here and say, oh, was it 24 or 26 pixels? It will do that for you. From there, you can change the font face, the font size, you can underline, you can change the background, bold, italic, and so on. Another important part is over here on the right-hand side. You can save the article as a draft, and you can choose not to show it in the Support Center. When you save it as a draft, it also doesn't show in the Support Center. But if you have the Support Center toggled off and it's not saved as a draft, your agents can leverage it within the case reply and so on. From there, you have the article attributes. If the topic you originally selected the article in isn't correct, you can quickly change the topic here. And you can add keywords, and these keywords will help with the search results on the forward-facing portal. So if this article has certain keywords that aren't necessarily in the article, but you want it to come up when a customer searches for those keywords, you would input them here. Best practices too is to comma separate your keywords or phrases. Quick code, this will let your agents quickly query up the article in the agent view. And also you can create a macro, which with a few keystrokes, the agent can leverage this article directly in a reply into the customer. From there, you have internal notes. This is great if you have a few different authors working on articles. You can make notes about what you updated and why, and notes about possible changes in the future. Below that, you have the history of the case, the history of the article, excuse me. And there you can see how many cases it was applied to, the ratings by customers, and then you also have the option to reset the article rating. Now, customers usually take advantage of this. If they totally rewrite an article and they want to see if customers are finding it more useful than the old one, they'll make note of the old rating, and then they'll reset the rating values back to 0. Below that, you have the timestamp as far as when the article was created and last updated, and by which admin or agent that was done by. Next up, we'll go over to questions. Now, questions are public-facing questions that your customer will ask. And so to kind of give you guys a better idea of this, I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the portal view. Currently, this is what our support center looks like. And if I go post a public question, I'm able to select the topic only if that topic is turned on for questions. And I would have to input my name, my email address, and I'll just go ahead and do that. So once I insert all this, if CAPTCHA is enabled, I'll have to fill that out to prevent spam. And I'll click Ask a Question. And then this is a great feature right here. This is called our pre-create. Now, this question kind of came back that it could be possible related to one of the articles. And the main reasons of this is I had really simple keywords in there of do and show and so on. But these articles don't look like they're going to help, so I'm going to go ahead and post my question. And it says I've successfully submitted my question. And with that, it's going to be moderated. You have the option to moderate it. Let's see. So it can't be shown on the front end until the admin approves it. So right here, I refreshed back in the admin, and I can see this testing questions case came through. You can change the language if that's applicable, and you can also change the topic if the customer didn't select the proper topic and you think it should be in another one. You're also able to hide the question completely if it's spam or doesn't fit your support center, and you can also feature the question. I'm just going to close out of here for now, and that's a basic rundown of the public question functionality. Next up is snippets. And before we jump into snippets, actually, let's go back to settings and toggle on that multilingual support I was talking about. So within multilingual support, I'm going to go into advanced settings, and the default language is English. I'm going to enable multilingual support, and here this default to English snippets is it will let you default to all English snippets, but we're not going to enable that right now. And you see here, once multilingual support is enabled, I have the option to toggle on one or any of these 50 different languages. And I'm just going to choose Spanish for now, or we'll do French. So French is enabled, and now if I go back over to content and the snippets, actually go to articles, you'll see there's this translate button here. So with that, I can click translate, and it will show me which articles are currently available in which language. If I wanted to add this article in French, I would click add article, and it will show me the original article, which doesn't have any text, and then my translation version side by side. And this is great if you have bilingual employees that are able to translate the article right there at the company. And I'm just going to click back because there's no need to save that at the moment. And I'm going to hop back over to snippets. Now, snippets are used throughout the support portal. Commonly used words such as agent or answer or add attachment that might be featured on the email form and so on are all translated here. And they're not just translated here. If you wanted to change the wording of add another attachment to add another picture, you can click this edit button right there and type in your edits and make sure to click the checkbox, and it will save. Now, anywhere that add another attachment is used throughout the support portal or agent side, or also in your reply themes or notification themes, that will use your updated, edited, add another picture. So from there, you can toggle over to French, and you'll see all these snippets that are used, again, throughout the site are already readily available for you, and they're already translated. You might want to make some adjustments to the translations and wording. Now, the edits you made in English do not automatically translate into the French language. These are all default values, and they will remain default values until you change them. From there, we're going to hop over to team. If you haven't already seen this screen, this is where you can add more agents or admin or so on and so on. The first thing you'll see when you click to add an agent is it's a full-time agent or a flex agent. Now with the flex agents, you only use you're only charged for the time that the agent uses. But either way, you would insert the name, the email, the public name which is how your customers will see it, and an optional signature there for their replies within the agent when answering a question. You can also change their access level, and that ranges from a base agent, which only has access to cases, all the way to a billing administrator, which has access from everything as an agent to all the admin that you see here, and even changing credit card information for the billing on the account. You can assign that agent to a group, and groups come into play when you have certain groups answering certain types of cases, or have access to certain cases, or assign certain cases. So I'm just going to click cancel out for now. There's no reason to add an actual agent. And next, I'm going to go over to channels. Now there's a lot going on under the channels tab. You have the support center itself, which we're going to go over in detail here momentarily. You also have the email channel, which just lets you set up more email inboxes, outbound mailboxes. It lets you control your embeddable email widget, which you can put on your main site. So the customer can email from your main site, and it will tie directly into the desk portal. You can also edit your reply themes, your auto acknowledgments, and a few advanced settings. The next channel is chat. This is a live chat interface that your agents and customers can speak directly in real time. If you don't like the desk's default chat, there are a few supported integrations like OLARG, which again tie directly into the agent screen in real time and creates a case and so on. Also, just like the email widget, you're able to embed a chat widget on your site. So the customer can be on your main site chatting with a desk agent that's on the desk agent portal. From there you have phone. There's no real settings out of the box with phone. We do support some third-party integrations with the phone. And then there's Twitter. You can add your Twitter account, your company's Twitter account here, and what this will do is it will create cases based on the settings you choose. You can set it up to create cases only when you're direct messaged, when you're mentioned, and so on. And similar to Twitter, there's also Facebook. And also you're able to edit settings based on when and where you're mentioned, or if they're replying directly to one of your posts or directly to your page. From there, we're going to jump back to Support Center. And this is where everything on the forward-facing portal, besides the content itself, lives. So you can kind of see an overview here. You have advanced settings. Let's quickly go over those. You can enable and disable this channel. If you don't want your Support Center to show, you can disable it. Some customers only use the agent side of things and provide support articles elsewhere, or don't even have a requirement for support articles. Question and answers. This lets you toggle off those public question and answers site-wide. So if I went ahead and clicked off and update, this question here under recent Q&A will disappear. And like I said, some customers like the public question and answers. Other customers don't really have a use for them. Also, under question and answers, you have the option to moderate Q&A. And when this is toggled on, when a customer submits a question, it won't display on the support portal until an admin or an agent approves it. And this will help you prevent spam or something being posted to your support portal that doesn't need to be. The mobile theme functionality is a little bit was set up in Desk before a lot of web themes and websites became responsive. If you toggle it on, it will if you toggle it on and when you access the support portal from your phone or another mobile device, it will actually bring up a much more simpler and less bandwidth intensive mobile support center. And you can customize it further once toggled on. It's similar to our theme editor with the web themes, which we'll be going over here shortly. Allow iframe embedding. This lets you embed your entire support center on your main site or elsewhere within an iframe. Below that, you're able to set the security mode, whether you want HTTPS only, mixed, or HTTP only. Um, Also, you're able to set the priority on various settings, and from there, portal search sorting. This is a nice new feature, and it lets you kind of weigh articles first or questions first. If you have a support portal with a lot of articles and questions, and you want the articles to appear on the search because those are documented by your company and provide the best chance at your customer finding a solution, you would toggle that on. Outside of that, you have the ability to control private access. Right now, it's not enabled, and there's two options. You can use Desk.com's login, which lets you log in by creating their own account within your portal, or the customer can log in also by using their Twitter or Facebook account. And then you have the option for multipass. And this comes into play if your customers already have a login system through your main site. They can log into your main site and instantly be logged into the desk portal as well. And this is great for when they submit an email or a ticket. You already have all their information because it's tied directly with your main site, as far as email address and username, and you can pass along other custom fields and more information with that. So I'm going to go ahead and toggle on Desk.com and use social. And once that's toggled on, I get a slew of other options here now. You can require authentication for nothing, or you can choose to require a user to log in if they want to submit a chat or email, or for everything. You can totally lock down your support site and require that a user has to create an account, which you can control, and log in before they can see articles or post or do anything within the portal. Here under that, you'll have more options. If you wanted to toggle off the desk login and only use the social options, that's available. And then you also have this My Cases option underneath which accounts they can use. The My Cases lets your customer view all the cases that they've submitted, whether it be chat, public question, email, or phone, within the forward-facing portal. And you can kind of think of it as an agent for your customers. So they won't have the agent view, but they can easily see, again, all their cases, and they can even resolve a case if they're no longer having that issue. They have the ability to resolve the case all right here on the forward-facing portal. And with that, you can choose which cases they can see, whether it's email cases, Twitter cases, or in this case, all of them are toggled on. Below that, you have My Company Cases. And My Company Cases comes into play when you have a company that you're providing support for, and all of the users have either a similar email address or they're all assigned to the same company. So for example, if you had a bunch of users at mycompanyname.com and you had My Company Cases toggled on, if all those companies in the desk record side of things, if all those customers on the desk record side of things were in the company and this was toggled on, that would let all those customers see each other's cases, and only from that company. And you have the option with company cases toggled on if it's to all customers in that company or authorized customers only. And with the authorized customers only is it will create a checkbox on the agent side of things and by default it won't be selected, but if the agent chooses so, they can toggle it on for specific customers in that company, and then only those customers will have access to view other customers of the same company's cases. Next, we have some advanced settings, which we already went over, excuse me. And then you have your portal users. And right now there's no users because this is a brand new account, but as people sign up, if you require them to, or if you have it enabled, you'll see them here. They'll be listed here. You'll be able to control their access, remove them from the portal, and so on. Next, we're going to go to the web theme. Now, the web theme controls all the visual aspects that you see on the portal. You'll see here that the Desk.com default is currently turned on and is set to default, and that's the theme that your customers will see. So when you click into the web theme, and I'll do this again just to show you, it's going to bring up this pop-up window. And in this pop-up window, you have a few different tabs. You have the look and feel, where you can upload a logo, change the fave icon. You can adjust the font faces for various sections, whether it's like the paragraph text for the article, the header text. You can also adjust the font size and the layout. And with the layout, it will switch the body layout. If it's body left, the body will be on the left and the sidebar will be on the right. If it's body right, then the sidebar will be on the left and the body will be on the right. And you can do all this without messing with any code or having to know any real technical coding knowledge. Underneath those, you have the ability to change all the colors of various elements of the site. So just for example, I'll change the background color to this yellow color. And let's also change the header background to this blue. Not the best color selection, but I'm going to click Save and Continue. And I got the little success there. And so now when I go to the Support Center and I click Refresh, you can see those vibrant colors are instantly displayed for better or worse on the support portal. And again, you have access to change almost all of the elements right here without knowing any code or messing with any CSS. Underneath that, you have Autocomplete Styles. And the Autocomplete is this drop-down that you see here when I type into the search box. It suggests articles before I even hit enter. I don't even need to go to the search results page. And I can adjust the coloring, the font face, and the font size of that box. And those are all the basic theme options. Next, on the next tab, you have integrations. There isn't a lot going on this tab. If you have a Get Satisfaction account, you can enable it here and put in your company's name, and this will query up all of your Get Satisfaction cases and right into your support center. From there, you have this Customize Content tab. So you can change the header content, which appears here at the header. You also can adjust the Contact Us content. So a lot of customers ask, how do I change the number in the sidebar? It's right here. And not only can you change the number in the sidebar, you can add more to it. And now when I click refresh, you'll see that testing came up. From there, you have page footer content. This will let you add content right here to the footer of every page, similar to the sidebar. And then you have this custom CSS box. Now, this custom CSS box, if you have a bit of knowledge of cascading style sheets, you can customize the CSS here. And the CSS here will override not only the theme options that you saw in the previous tab if they are styling a similar element, but they'll also override all the default styles from the style sheet that loads with the support portal. And you can choose to toggle on the sample CSS, and this is kind of a great starting point to start making edits. It will pull in all of the styles that are used throughout the site, so you can go through it and basically create your own customized style sheet right here within the editor without having to deal with any external files. And again, all these styles will override the default styles and the theme options. The next tab is where you can have full control over your support center. And this is the tab I spend a lot of time in with customers customizing their support portal. It's the advanced theme editor. And when you first come to the advanced theme editor, you'll notice all those other tabs disappeared, not to where you can get back to them. But it breaks down your support portal in a few different ways. You have the header section, which sets up the title and all the styles that you saw into the support portal, excuse me. And then you have your layout section. Now, the best way to think of the layout section is kind of like a wrapper, because it includes the actual header of the support portal, the search of the support portal, and then the footer of the support portal. So it wraps itself around the rest of these pages, which I'll go over now. The page index is pretty self-explanatory. It's the page index, the index page, and that controls this the middle section that you see here on the index page. Now, if I went into an article, this middle section that you see on the article page is controlled by the article template. And so on with the topic template, it controls the topic page, which is pretty self-explanatory, along with the search results, the question show. Now this is the question show page, is the page that displays a question publicly to other customers and anybody else browsing the site. The question new page, the Q&A new page, is that form you saw me fill out earlier, where I had to input all my information in the fields and click submit. The pre-create page is that page you saw with the pop-up window that suggested articles that might be helpful to me prior to me creating the question. And this is really helpful because it lets your customers help themselves. Instead of directly creating the question and giving your agent another ticket, they can possibly stumble upon an article that has their answer in it. An email is set up in a similar fashion. The email new is all the inputs that you had to fill out. So if you wanted to add another input or a custom field here, this is the template you would do it on. There's the pre-create page again, suggesting articles for the customer. There's the email submitted page, and that gives your customer confirmation that their email has been submitted and an agent will be with them shortly. Next is the chat template, and that again is all the fields you have to fill out, and then the chat pre-create screen, again the suggesting of the articles. The two My Cases pages, these come into play if the My Portal is enabled. The My Cases list template will list out all the cases for the customer, and it's paginated, and they're able to sort by whether or not the case is active or how old the case is, whether it's the past 7 days or 30 days. And then the My Case detail page, once they click on a case on the list, they end up on the detail page, and this will have all the information about the case, with the status, the current assigned agent, all the replies and back and forth. And from there, there's the login page, which is if you have the private portal enabled or you're making your customers log in for certain things. This is this is where you can edit the login page. From there, you have the registration page, which is self-explanatory. It's where the user signs up. You have the Forgot Your Password page, which lets the user reset the password. And then you have the My Account page. And this page is useful if once a customer has an account, they can add another email address. And if that email address gets verified, then they're able to view cases from both their original email address and the added email address. And also they can add other things like their Facebook and Twitter account and be able to view cases from those as well. The verify email template is self-explanatory. Once your customer signs up, they get the authentication link, and then they end up on this page where they click the link and verify and get approved. From there, you have the CSAT new template, and this, if you have customer satisfaction rating enabled, Once a case is closed, the customer will get a link, and they'll end up on this page where they can rate the support that they received. And then the submitted page, CSAT submitted page, is just saying a thank you for your rating, and this verbiage and other verbiage can be changed via the snippets, which we went over earlier. And that's an outline of the theme editor itself. Now I'm going to show you a few things that you can do with the theme editor. One of them is you can grab our new responsive template and go over to advanced themes. And I didn't go over edit in source mode. Editing in source mode breaks the entire template up into only 2 pages instead of those individual pages with the layout and the header and then a template for each different page. This breaks it up into 2 main parts: the header, which loads the CSS and sets the browser title and so on, and the body, which loads all the other template parts. This is great if you want to edit externally in Sublime Text or Notepad++. You can edit the whole site by easily copying and pasting, making your edits, and pasting back in. Excuse me. And with this editor, with the editor in source mode, you're able to copy and paste in entire new templates. And we have some of those available, one of which is a responsive template that we've been working on. And this new template, instead of the site looking like this, your site can look like this. And the best thing about this template is it's fully responsive. You can see if I shrink my window to a tablet, it changes. And then if I shrink again to a phone, it's similar to the tablet view. It has a slide out menu where the customer can access things based on whether or not they're enabled in the settings. And it also has a mobile search here. So if I search right here, it brings back the results right there in the tab without hitting submit. And then also articles breakdown, topic and article pages break down in a similar fashion. And this is just an example of what's possible with the theme editor and with Desk.com. Another theme that we have available to our customers that we've been working on is this kind of bare bones theme. And this is great if you have access to developers and you want to stylize your support center from scratch with no real other styles interfering. And this is based off of the newest version of Foundation. And again, it already breaks down. It's mobile friendly. And you can see there's topics queried up here on the side. I can click in from one topic to the next. And again, that's a good starting point if you have access to a developer. If you don't have access to a developer and you just want to customize this theme or this theme, they all work with the theme options that you saw right here, as far as changing header colors and button colors and so on. And that concludes everything I have with the admin, mostly related to the support center. I know we touched on some other technical aspects of the settings and so on. So if you have any questions, we can turn it over to Brian now.
All right, thanks so much, Zach. So just to wrap up today's session, again, our onboarding webinars, our previous sessions are hosted on our YouTube channel. If you go to the playlist for onboarding webinars, you'll see all the prior webinars. Again, the ones that have been on the general admin or the agent or any other topics you can find there. Also, if you have questions beyond today's webinar, you can always access our support center, which is support@desk.com, where you can find a lot of great how-to articles that'll walk you through a couple of the different processes that you're looking for. And also beyond that, if you do have any other technical questions or any questions at all, feel free to contact us at support@desk.com. So I know that we gone a little bit long, but let's go ahead and see if we can answer some of these questions. Zach, if you can hop in on any of these. First question here, how can I customize an article to match the branding of my current website? And I know that Zach had kind of touched upon this, but Zach, do you want to kind of guide us through that area once more?
Yeah, so that's a bit of an open-ended question. But if you're just talking about the article plane that you see here, the best way to do that um, is through the editor. And when you're in the editor, excuse me one second. Yeah. When you're in the editor here, and like I went over earlier, you have the ability to use use the formatting that's up here, and with that formatting, you'll want to match things like your H1 and so on. But the more technical thing that you'll have to do to really match the styling as far as the font faces and so the font faces and header and colors and so on would be to take advantage of the theme editor itself and drop in some CSS that aligns with the article or with the your site's CSS. If you're talking about totally branding the site to match your current site, we offer packages for that. The basic one is a seamless, and with the seamless package, it will take your header and footer from your live site and match it up perfectly within the Desk.com portal. So your header would take place of this gray box, and also your footer would take place of this gray box. And then we'll work with you to make minor tweaks to make sure that colors within the content area and styles within the content area are matched accordingly. But with that being said, you have access to all the same tools that we do. We use the theme editor ourselves. So if I were to add custom CSS and your header and footer, I would be taking advantage, excuse me, of the theme editor. And whether I'm in customized content and adding the customized CSS here to leverage your styles within our support center, or if I'm actually making template modifications under the advanced theme editor, again, it's you have access to the same tools we do. And if you have the technical knowledge, that I mean, the sky's the limit as far as what some customers have done for themselves, integrating their styles and site within the Desk.com portal. There's more documentation on this on the support site, and I know that question was kind of open-ended as far as you're just wanting to match text styles, or if you're wanting to match the majority of the site itself.
Okay, great. Another question here. Can I add a video to an article? If so, does Desk host the videos?
We do not host the videos for the most part. We usually recommend that you use a third-party service like YouTube or Vimeo. But yeah, you can add an article to a video. I mean, excuse me, a video to an article. And to give you an example, um, there's one actually added right here. And if I go to source, you can see it's embedded. And one thing you want to make sure you do, if you're using mixed HTTP and HTTPS, is to actually delete out the HTTP and leave the // And what this will let you do, what this will do, is it will use HTTPS or HTTP depending upon how the customer is accessing your support portal. So if I click update, and now I click view, you'll see that the video loads. And again, it will load over HTTP or HTTPS based on how the customer is accessing. If you're not using mixed and you're only using HTTPS or HTTP, you can keep those in the embed code. But general best practice is to go ahead and remove that and keep the // in case settings within your site and how customers access your site change.
Okay, great. Another question here. Which admin role can moderate questions that can come in from articles?
That's a good question. Now, questions that come in from articles, or I'm assuming the public questions. So within the settings, oops, excuse me, within the team, add a new user. Um, let's see. All the top levels, billing administrator, knowledge base administrator, administrative manager, business manager, content manager, knowledge base manager, can all moderate the question itself. And I almost wanted to say that there's a way for the agents to have full moderation over the questions as well. For the articles themselves, an agent doesn't have access to moderate those articles or change those articles. They can reference those articles in a reply theme, but the knowledge base manager and above are the people who have access to the articles and the topics and the control over those.
Okay, great. Let's see here. I got a couple more questions about editing the HTML, CSS. I think we covered those. One and then here, can I lock the advanced theme editor so my other admins can't make changes?
You can, if you're trying to keep an admin out of the advanced theme editor, the best way to do that would make them a content manager, and this would give them the access to the majority of the panel you see here and be able to edit content and so on, but it would not give them access to the theme editor and some of the more advanced settings.
Okay, great. And let's see if we have any other questions here. Where do I get the responsive theme? I missed that.
Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't share it, but it's available right here as a gist. And there's a few things to note. The files are hosted on our S3. If you want to set them up and host them on your own server, you can do that. Um, with that, there's a few options here to quickly go over this. You'll have the step-by-step of how to create it, which I kind of went over as far as copying and pasting it into the header and body section. This will also outline a few options which are located at the top of the layout or body section. There's site-wide settings. You have the option for My Case Sort. This will load all the customers' cases on the page. Index layout, you can change the index layout between grid and topic, and the grid is topics with articles listed below them. You have the option to skip pre-creates across the entire site. So that pop-up page that you saw won't display when a customer submits an email. And the reason for this is because if you go on the responsive template and you type in a subject here, articles are suggested in real time on the right-hand side. So this kind of eliminates the need for a pre-create template. From there, you have some multi-brand options. These options only come into play if you're using our multi-brand settings in the support center, but you can search between all brands if you choose to. You can also exclude questions from the multi-brand search, and you can also have multi-brand search suggestion and multi-brand article suggestion. And those come into play here on the right-hand side. The multi-brand article suggestion and the multi-brand search suggestion would appear here, separated by the brands. But where to get that itself lives here, and anytime changes are made, we keep it up to date. And I'll post it in chat if you're on chat. If not, we can follow up after the call. And from there, this theme will be released in the product here in the coming weeks, maybe a month. It's in its final QA stages. So keep in mind you are using a theme that's currently under development, but at this stage it's been modified and debugged heavily.
Okay, great. Let's see here. I do think we have another question. Okay, actually, that was it. So once again, thank you everyone for sticking with us. I know that we did go over on time today. If you do have any further questions, please feel free to contact us at support@desk.com. Also check out our page for our articles. Again, a lot of great how-to articles on the Support Center specifically. But once again, thank you for joining today, and thank you everyone. Bye.